The cost of your average turkey is about $30. So instead of spending that money on one single turkey, you could be making this massive 7-dish feast that's gonna feed 5 to 6 people. So what I did was I went into a grocery store and I set myself a limit of $30 because I thought maybe you and your friends can get together, you each have $5 or $6 and you wanna have a little holiday celebration. So let's see what I can come up with.
Let's buy some shit, guys.
That was so close. You're not gonna be too upset if we called that $30. It's fine. These are all the ingredients that we shopped for. All right, bro, chop. The first thing that I wanted to do was a potato dish because potatoes are cheap and everyone loves potatoes, let's be real. I wanted to elevate the potato into a star dish that everyone will want to dig into without going into fancy territory. These are potatoes gratin.
Don't make your mouth that.
Potatoes gratin.
Just say it without your mouth like that.
I'm not doing anything with my mouth. Potatoes gratin.
Why you do that?
What?
Why you become an elephant or something?
I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying potatoes gratin.
Why you look top left?
And even though they sound fancy, they're really not that fancy. All you need to do is slice your potatoes very thinly. You can do that with a knife, but a mandolin works really well for this, as you can see. Just lay out a layer of them in a baking dish. Add some cheap melted cheese. You can use the bagged stuff if you have to. And also a little rosemary. And just continue to layer those potatoes like that until you're out of potatoes or out of dish. And now you'll take some cream, put it in a container, put some black pepper, some rosemary, put some melted butter in that cream to remind the cream what it can become if it just tried a little harder. Some salt, and all this mess will be used to top our lovely potatoes. Cover that in some aluminous and throw it in the oven at 190 Celsius for about an hour. At the end of that time, you can remove the aluminous and top it with some more cheese. And when everyone's ready to eat, you can broil it for a final 15 minutes so it's freshly melty, cheesy on top. And that's our first side, but every side needs a main dish. And that main dish is usually some sort of meat, but again, a whole turkey or like a whole chicken is pretty expensive, so I just got a kilogram of ground meat. It's beef and pork mixed, and the plan is to throw this in a pie. I definitely got inspired from the French-Canadian dish of tourtière that I made for last year's Christmas series. It's pretty basic and it sounds and looks kind of boring, but if you do it right, it can carry this dinner, I promise you. After you add the meat to the spiced onions, you just have to cook it for like 30 minutes while adding some water. Later on we will add boiled potatoes, so it's even better if you use that potato water because it's full of starch. The goal is to create a sort of homogeneous meat paste, which is a depressing sequence of words. So now we're gonna add the potatoes and just mush them inside of the meat, and eventually everything will come together. And at this point you just gotta let it cool down to room temperature. You wanna taste this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Eat it, eat the whole thing. There you go.
It tastes excellent. I would want to eat this just like that, straight up.
In the meantime, you can prep your pie. Just add a bottom layer of dough. I assume you can't be bothered to make your own dough, so store-bought is completely fine. Now add in your meat filling and top with another piece of dough. And this one I poked a hole in because that's what people do for some reason. It's gonna air it out, bro.
What if this guy needs air here? Where's that gonna go?
You can even catch it with one hand.
Yeah.
Brush with some egg wash to get that crispy golden look and throw it in the oven, also at 190 and also for about an hour. Excuse me, sir, what are you eating right now?
I am eating this meat pie.
And do you like that meat pie?
Well, yes, I quite like it. Why do you ask?
Oh, I'm just curious. Would you be interested in buying more meat pie in the future, potentially?
I don't know. Why? Wait, what are you writing down?
Oh, I'm just collecting some data on you so I can just sell it to third parties for a lot of money for advertising purposes.
What? What is this? How did they know?
Has this ever happened to you? Well, today's sponsor, NordVPN, allows you to browse the internet privately and securely.
That sounds great.
A VPN works by encrypting your internet traffic and hiding your IP address, making it able to change your virtual location to pretty much anywhere in the world.
That's a lot of places.
That's a lot of places. That means you can be in one part of the world and access the internet from a completely different one with just one click. This can be useful in many different ways. You can access blocked websites in your country country, for example in China, you can access YouTube. You can stay protected while using public Wi-Fi in airports or coffee shops. But what I personally use it for is to watch shows that I don't have access to in my country. For example, my favorite show right now is The Bear. And for the longest time, it was only available on Hulu, which I don't have access to because I'm not in the US. But with NordVPN, that's not a problem. Right now, you can get a huge discount on a 2-year plan plus 4 months for free.
That's 2 more than 2. That's 3 more than 1. That's 1 more than 3. That's 4 more than 0.
You just have to go to nordvpn.com/KWOOWK, my channel name, KWOOWK. Make sure to spell it right. They also offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, you can always change your mind. Now, let's get back to our Christmas feast.
You know how there's always like a red jam or some sauce accompanying all the food at a Christmas dinner? It's usually cranberry sauce or something. So let me show you a super cheap and easy way to make that really good. The secret is to use
Frozen berries. Wow. You got raspberries, blackberries, cranberries, blueberries, all sorts of berries.
All sorts of colors.
Colors of berries.
which I never did, but it turns out it's a pretty good idea. On top of these berries, I'm adding some sugar. And yes, it's quite a lot of sugar. I didn't really measure it, which is pretty bad. If you're looking for a recipe from me or something, I don't have it. But you're just gonna have to use your best guess. I trust you. I also added some lemon juice for acidity. And of course, you already know it, a little bit of
Rosemary.
All I did with this is keep it on low heat and stir it from time to time. I think it probably went on for about 30-40 minutes. The fruit's gonna break down into a sauce, and at this point you can adjust the thickness to your liking. I'm a thick jam man, fam. So I mixed some cornstarch with some water and just added that in, stir it in, kind of heat it up, and it's gonna be magically thickened. You're welcome. We also gotta think of some vegetables, and when I think of a Christmas feast, for some reason I think of carrots. And when I think of carrots, the next thing I think of is parsnip. And parsnip is hands down the most underrated vegetable of all time. Like, no one says that parsnip is their favorite vegetable. I never heard that in my life. But I'm begging you to give parsnips a chance. Benji here did not believe in them at all. So I wanted to prove it to him that parsnips are a top tier vegetable. I went pretty basic with these guys. I just used the salt, fat, acid, heat principle, which means just adding those things in this case. And for the heat part, we're gonna oven roast them, of course, because that's very Christmassy. I kept them in for about 40 minutes, but I kept taking them out to check them and also give them a little toss from time to time. And I just want you to take a second and see one man's life completely change forever.
What is it good?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
I told you.
I actually like the parsnip more than the carrot.
I told you.
The next thing I wanted is a low-key side dish. One that is really not flashy, but everyone kind of likes when they try it. So I went with my good old friend Cabbage. Where I'm from in Romania, cabbage salad is a huge thing. And all we do is add salt, vinegar, and oil. So I decided to kind of do that, but a little bit elevated, of course.
You look at this cabbage, do you want to eat it as it is?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I will make you want to eat it.
Yeah.
I chose to give this cabbage some taste using bacon. When you cook down the bacon, it releases some very nice salty, savory fat that's gonna coat this cabbage and take it to the next level, which is not that hard to be fair. I also added some vinegar for acidity and cooked it until it was cooked. And there we go. Cabbage, bacon, bacon, cabbage. Looks a little underwhelming, but it tastes pretty good. Trust me.
Taste it. Let's
I think
taste
I
it.
got visual tasting.
Taste it from. Does it taste good? As a side.
Yeah.
Would you want to have this as a side?
I would eat it.
And this feast is already shaping up into a pretty promising dinner. We just gotta add some final details. For example, onions. Everyone loves onions. That's not true. A lot of people hate onions, but I like them. I'm cutting the heads and the butts of these onions. Onion butt. Just consider that for a second. And I don't even care about the skin. We can leave on the skin. It's gonna make it look nice and rustic and fancy. In a pot, I put some olive oil, some red wine vinegar, some honey, some salt, and oh, of course, rosemary. And I just added my onions to that, making sure they're all touching the surface. I put some knobs of butter on top of each onion piece and then just covered with a lid. If you cook this low and slow, the steam should very nicely roast the onions until they're soft, while the bottom gets nicely caramelized. Make sure to flip your onions from time to time so you don't completely burn them. And if you have space in your oven, you can even finish them in the oven. It's easier. Now look at these guys. I put them on this wooden plank so it looks fancier. kind of get more rustic. And that's a pretty cool addition to our feast. Now, finally, we need a sweet thing. And a sweet thing that can be put on the same plate with all the other stuff. Kind of like how in England they have their Yorkshire pudding. So I went ahead and made some bread pudding because I had a bunch of leftover bread. So I want to use this new bread. But eventually this will also become leftover, so... Yeah. To make this thing, you can just take a glass dish of sorts and fill it with whatever bread you have. I use sourdough, brioche, but you can use burger buns. Pretty much anything non-moldy you have laying around, it will work. And look how easy it is. All you have to do is make a simple custard with milk, eggs, a little vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg.
See how there's 4 yellow things?
That's because it's 4 eggs.
Because it's 4 eggs, yeah.
Just top your bread with that and bake it for like 45 minutes or something. You don't have to, but I wanted to top it with some maple syrup at the end because I felt like it. I didn't add it to the price though, so sue me. So are you ready for a Christmas feast?
I cannot wait.
I'll give you this Christmas plate. Just go to town.
Let me figure out what this straight cooked onion is. I will take
that slice.
Yeah, let me take this slice. Yeah, Ludovico Sforza. Let me eat. Oh, I will eat some of this platter.
It's potatoes au gratin.
Yeah, potato platter. Ah, shit. Yeah. Now I will eat some of this.
Bacon cabbage.
Yeah, this bacon cabbage. Here I will eat some of this parsnips, which I've recently learned that it tastes good. I thought it tastes bad. Turns out, it's the opposite. And here I will eat some of this bread juice.
Bread pudding.
Oh yeah, this jammas. Look at this jammas. Who am I right now?
Christmas boy.
Christmas boys.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this plate?
It looks delicious. I don't know where to start. Let me start with this mushroom looking. It tastes Christmassy. I want to eat it all at once.
You like it?
Let me try some of this steak.
Eat the tortilla. Get some of that jam with the tortilla.
Contrary to what I thought this pie would do, because I was really into the filling, and I thought why surround a really good filling with a pie? But I think it works.
If you were to be a broke student and you were served this at Christmas, you would be happy.
I would definitely be happy.
That's all I...
You have generated happiness in me.
That's all I want.
Let me eat this bread sauce.
Oh yeah, the bread pudding.
You made the fuck out of this shit.
Yeah. Subscribe if you ever ate something.
Subscribe if you eat.
I agree.
You wanna eat this fucking parsnip?
I want to eat some shit.